Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to the midday news on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Mukhtar Kasim. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV, channel 365 and on Star Times, channel 276. We begin from the National Assembly where the Nigerian Senate has confirmed the service chiefs appointed by President Bola Tinubu. The confirmation followed the screening of the Chief of Defense Staff and the service chiefs in Abuja. Our correspondent in the National Assembly, Topsy Gimba, has the details.
Chief of Air Staff. Speaking before the nominees were screened, the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, said only a few questions will be asked and they will go into a closed-door session to interact with the service chiefs on national security matters not meant for the public knowledge.
On issues of communities that are ravaged by banditry, terrorism, or Boko Haram. And that, security is something we should discuss behind closed doors so that we will not be misquoted.
The first to take the podium was the Chief of Defense Staff, CDS, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oloyede, where he presented his records in the service. He said, as a former Chief of Army Staff, he is aware of the challenges facing the Army and its operations. He called on Nigerians to join hands together to fight insurgency.
It's important for the nation to empower the police, make it stronger, make it more formidable, so that they can do their job.
He was followed by the Chief of Army Staff, Major General Wadi Shehu, where he presented his records while serving in various military operations, particularly in the northeast region of Nigeria. He said in the course of his operations, over 442 terrorists were neutralized and various weapons were recovered. He assured Nigerians that more will be achieved in the fight against terrorism and banditry in the country.
I have been privileged to have various honors and awards ranging from the Military Service Star, the Grand Service Star, that culminated with the Field Command Medal of Honor, and the Nigerian Army Outstanding Operation Medals.
Also standing at the podium was the Rear Admiral Idi Abbas, Chief of Naval Staff. He said he has served in various capacities and pledged to do more in his new role to free Nigeria waterways from criminal elements.
To my mind, may remind relatives and family members of those that they have named to think in another direction.
The Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Sunday Kevin Aneke, presented his records of service as an air officer.
Their liberties and aspirations through the instrument of air power in conjunction and synergy with both my colleagues in the military and the other security organizations.
Many senators asked questions. Among them were Muhammad Mungunu Bononov, Issa Jebre Kogi and Abdul Ningi Bochi Central.
With the latest being 6 Super Tucanos at the cost of $1.2 billion US.
For appointing General W. Shuaibu as the Chief of Army Staff. He has taken this job as a do-or-die affair.
After the screening exercise, the Senate went into a closed-door session with the service chiefs. Topsy Gimba reporting for Global Television News.
And there was wild drama at the National Assembly as officials of the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAMB, staged a walkout during an investigative hearing of the House Committee on Basic Education and Examination Bodies. The inquiry, chaired by Obudu Ofoji, was convened to scrutinize JAMB's 2023 and 2024 budget performance, its remittance to the federal government, as well as the bank statement detailing revenue inflows and expenditure. National Assembly correspondent Aniete Patrick reports.
Although the registrar, Professor Ishak Oloyede, was invited to appear in person, he delegated a director, Muftak Bello, to represent him. However, the atmosphere quickly turned tense after Bello requested that journalists be excused from the session, claiming the documents to be presented contained sensitive information. The lawmakers insisted that the proceedings must remain public, citing the constitutional mandate of parliamentary transparency. The refusal triggered the JAMB team to rise and walk out of the meeting, a move that lawmakers describe as disrespectful and an affront to parliamentary oversight.
It's not the right for JAMB representative to say they want a meeting closed door and that they want to see the chairman in camera. These are the things that they put the National Assembly members into trouble. Why must you see the chairman behind doors? We like being open because this is public money.
Chairman of FORGI condemned the action as unfortunate and unacceptable, warning that such conduct would not hinder the legislature from performing its constitutional duty of ensuring accountability in the management of public funds. Other lawmakers, including Awaje Inombek Abiante, Billy Osaworu, Maria Ebikake, and Rodney Amobiwo, also criticized the decision to stage a walkout, insisting that public institutions must remain accountable to the Nigerian people through the legislature.
The National Assembly has requested that JAMB should furnish us with certain details of the income and expenditure, including whatever sources of revenue that they have gotten.
It's unheard of where an agency will come in. For us to oversight an agency, then the agency will tell us that, sorry, we would like to see you in private.
The committee consequently issued a summons directing the JAMB registrar to appear before it with his full management team by next Tuesday or face sanctions in accordance with Section 88 and 89 of the 1999 Constitution. From the National Assembly, Anie T. Patrick, reporting for Global TV News.
Now let's move away from the National Assembly to election matters, where as preparations intensify ahead of the Anambra State governorship election, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has reaffirmed its readiness to conduct a free, fair and credible election. The Commission, in collaboration with the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security, says all necessary measures have been put in place to ensure a peaceful exercise. Our correspondent, Sadia Yakubu, reports.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, in partnership with the Office of the National Security Advisor, convened the regular quarterly meeting of the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security in Abuja as part of final preparations for the Anambra governorship election. Welcoming participant, INEC Chairman Professor Josh Amopita expressed appreciation to members of the security and intelligence community for their continued collaboration, describing the meeting as a crucial step in ensuring a safe and credible electoral process.
As we are all aware, the Anambra election is scheduled for Saturday, 8th day of November 2025. Just 11 days away. Following a week-long comprehensive readiness assessment conducted across the states, the Commission is confident in affirming its full preparedness for the polls.
The election just 11 days away, Professor Amopita announced that INEC has completed a comprehensive readiness assessment across Anambra State, expressing confidence that the Commission is fully prepared for the November 8th poll. The INEC chairman commended the efforts of security agencies in creating a safe environment, emphasizing that credible elections are only possible where security is granted. Representative of the Police, Department for State Security, and the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, and the military assured of robust deployment and coordinated patrols before, during, and after the election, pledging to maintain law and order across all polling areas. Representing the National Security Advisor, Nuri Badu, Director of Internal Security, Hassan Yahya Abdullahi, highlighted the extensive security arrangements put in place to deter violence and ensure a smooth process.
Any form of violence during the elections will be met with strong, uncompromising response. Nigerian Police, the lead agency for election security, along with other security agencies, stands prepared and resolute to maintain a secure environment during the Anambra State governorship election. We call upon all citizens to collaborate and commit to a peaceful electoral process
The Nigerian Police Force, as the lead agency for election security, reaffirmed its readiness to safeguard voters and election officials, urging citizens to conduct themselves peacefully and uphold democratic values throughout the process. Sadiya Yakubu, reporting for Global Television.
Agency NDLEA has promoted several of its officers in recognition of their dedication and exceptional service. The decoration ceremony took place at the agency's headquarters in Abuja. Again, our correspondent Sadiya Yakubu reports.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has once again recognized excellence within its ranks as officers and men of the agency were promoted to new positions in a ceremony aimed at boosting morale and reinforcing commitment to duty. Chairman and Chief Executive of the agency, Brigadier General Muhammad Buba Marwa, retired, said the agency has consistently upheld the tradition of rewarding outstanding performance through promotions and commendations over the past 4 years.
We celebrate those who, despite facing immense danger and relentless temptation, chose the path of honor, integrity, selflessness, and uncompromising adherence to our mandate.
He said the ceremony is not only about their achievements, but reaffirms the agency's belief in hard work, loyalty, and integrity in the service of the nation. Brigadier General Moira described the fight against drug trafficking and abuse as a major national challenge, warning that the menace fuels other crimes such as terrorism, banditry, and corruption.
On our two major planks of drug demand reduction and drug supply reduction, leading to 45,853 arrests, seizure of over 8.5 million kilograms of assorted illicit drugs, and conviction of 9,263 offenders.
He described abuse and trafficking as a threat to the social fabric, economic stability, and national security of Nigeria. The NDLEA boss emphasized the need to sustain the morale of officers through incentives, training, and continuous professional development for operational excellence. Among dignitaries at the event were members of the House of Representatives and senior government officials who commended the agency for its unwavering efforts in combating drug-related crimes. Sadiya Yakubu, reporting for Global Television News.
To Benue State, where the Kuka Center, in partnership with the state government, is set to train 200 personnel of the Benue State Civil Protection Guard. The move aims to strengthen community security and promote accountable service delivery. Benue State correspondent Felicity Ndere reports.
The Kuka Center is teaming up with the Benue State government to train 200 personnel from the Benue State Civil Protection Guards. The goal is to boost community security and promote accountability.
Whose administration prioritizes peace building, inclusive governance, and people-centered development.
The project manager of the Kuka Center says the initiative is part of efforts to improving community security for accountability service delivery, which focuses on capacity building, institutional reform, and standard procedures for the Civil Protection Guards.
The thinking of the Kuka Center through the Strengthening Peace and Resilience in Nigeria program is to first associate herself with the successes that have been recorded and then contribute to strengthening the operations of these security outfits by way of strengthening the legal frameworks that establish them, as well as providing specialized training.
The stakeholders are on board with the traditional institutions, praising the involvement in security planning.
The input made by all of you sent to the government, and the governor implements some of these things. It may work, but as I've said, the issue of security in Benue State is very complicated. We don't know why it so persists, but in spite of what the government's intention have been and so on, but it continues.
For me, I am very happy, and I'm happy that today I'm part of this team that is going to improve on the law and make it workable in future.
However, legal analysts are calling for reforms especially regarding funding, welfare and accountability mechanisms.
The essence of analyzing the law, doing this assessment, is to see the gaps in the law that needs to be strengthened so that the civil protection guard are properly positioned for them to be more effective and efficient in carrying out their responsibilities as outlined in the law.
The project is supported by Strengthening Peace and Resilience in Nigeria, SPRING program, an initiative of the UK's Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, implemented by Tetra Tech International Development and executed by the Kuka Center. In Makurdi, Felicity Ndere, reporting for Global Television News.
Over now to Kano State, where as part of activities marking the 2025 Fire Week, 100 police officers are undergoing fire safety training across the state. The program, held at the police headquarters in Kano, highlights the need for joint efforts in tackling fire menaces and emergencies. Global Television correspondent Idris Jibrin reports.
Drawn from the 44 local government divisional headquarters and police outposts across Kano State, these officers are being trained on fire safety to better protect their formations and respond effectively in case of emergencies. Considering the impact of climate change, the Kano State government has put necessary measures in place to safeguard both lives and property and remain committed to supporting the fire service in carrying out its duties effectively.
Considering the climate change and the situation that we've been witnessing due to climate change, the government has put in place a lot of measures trying to see what it could do to mitigate the impact of the climate change in the state.
Addressing the participant, the Kano State Commissioner of Police Ibrahim Bakuri emphasized the importance of collaboration between the police and the fire service to ensure quick response to fire outbreaks.
This collaboration is not only a personal role, but also a reflection of the strong partnership and collaboration between the Nigerian Police Force and Federal Fire Service in Kano State. And I assure you that the Kano State Police Command will continue to prioritize fire safety measures in all its activities and facilities.
In the coming days, the Federal Fire Service, in collaboration with the Nigeria Police, will embark on a sensitization campaign across Kano State to educate residents on fire prevention and safety measures. From Kano, Idris Jibrin, Global Television News.
You're watching the live broadcast of Midday News. When the Midday News returns, reps approve Tinubu's $2.35 billion loan plan. Details coming shortly, plus foreign and sports stories. On the other side of this break, please stay with us. Welcome back from that break. We now go to business news, where the House of Representatives has approved President Bola Tinubu's request to secure over $2.3 billion from the international capital market to partly finance the 2025 budget deficit and refinance Nigeria's maturing Eurobonds. The lawmakers also gave the nod for the federal government's debut sovereign sukuk issuance of up to $500 million as part of a new external borrowing plan amounting to 1.84 trillion naira to support the 9.27 trillion budget shortfall. National Assembly correspondent Aniete Patrick reports.
The President's request is titled Request for the Resolution of the National Assembly to Implement New External Borrowing in the 2025 Appropriation Act, refinance maturing Eurobonds, and issue debt sovereign sukuk in the international capital market. Tinubu said the purpose of the letter was to seek resolution of the Senate pursuant to the provisions of Section 21, Subsection 1 and 27, Subsection 1 of the Debt Management Office Established Act 2023 to implement the new external borrowing of 1.84 trillion naira, equivalent to USD $1.22 at the budget exchange rate of USD 1.00/1.5 US dollars in the 2025 Appropriation Act for the part financing of the budget deficit. He said the facility will be assessed through any of the following channels in the International Capital Market, ICM, issuance of the Eurobonds, loan syndications, budget finance facility from the book runners, and direct borrowing from the international financial institution. He also requested a resolution to issue a stand-alone debt sovereign sukuk of up to $5 million in the ICM without credit enhancements guaranteed. He therefore invited the Senate to approve the loan. The loan was referred to the Senate Committee on Loans, Local Foreign Debts. Topsy Gemba, reporting for Global TV News.
And now to news making rounds on the foreign scene. The ongoing visa policy controversy between the United States and Mali has seen a recent development that could signal a de-escalation in the diplomatic standoff. Our correspondent, Edikon Michael, examines the situation.
The disputes began in early October when the United States announced a new visa bond pilot program requiring citizens of various countries to post bonds of up to $10,000 when applying for tourist or business visas. Mali was promptly included on this list, with the new policy slated for implementation on October 23, 2025. In response, Mali enacted a retaliatory measure adopting an identical visa bond policy for United States citizens. However, on October 23rd, the United States government published a revised list of countries whose citizens are required to post visa bonds, and notably, Mali was no longer included. This change indicates a relaxation of the United States visa policy stance towards Mali amid ongoing diplomatic negotiations. Reacting to the development, Hein Dongham, senior lecturer at Teesside University, urged the United States to review and possibly modify the policy to prevent it from disproportionately affecting certain nationalities.
I think actually this is very concerning, because obviously after the tariffs that have been imposed by Donald Trump, we are entering a new phase now where these restrictions could enter the U.S. and other countries into what we describe as immigration or visas as well, war, which can as well lead to restrictions on American citizens entering these countries. So I think this is really concerning.
Washington has used visa policies as a means of political pressure on several African nations in the past couple of months. But this recent decision is seen as a positive step towards improving the bilateral relations, potentially easing travel restrictions and promoting increased cooperation. But nations have yet to make official statement on the matter, but analysts suggest that this move could pave the way for further diplomatic and economic engagement. Edikan Michael, reporting for Global TV News.
Amidst the paramilitary capture of El Fasher, Sudan's oldest capital and Darfur's historic heart, the town of Tawila is now said to be overpopulated after absorbing over 500,000 displaced people, among which are many children and accompanied minors who are suffering from severe malnutrition. Our correspondent, Uyi Agbomofuegbe, has the details.
Fears have mounted in Sudan 3 days after paramilitaries seized the key city of El Fasher amid reports of mass atrocities and the killing of 5 Red Crescent volunteers in Kordofan. The numbers do not look good in terms of the devastating impact of the crisis on Sudan's civilian population.
We have seen in Tawila many unaccompanied minors. Many of them are suffering from severe malnutrition, maybe around 70% of them. Still the numbers to be verified by professional health workers. But also this is a strong reminder that those who are paying the heaviest cost of this conflict are children and women.
However, the situation is evidently worsening, with humanitarian workers feeling the brunt and displacement figures soaring fast.
On Zamzam camp, there was dozens of humanitarian workers who were killed, including more than 10 of them who were killed were working in one clinic for one of the international NGO. It's quite heavy, because many of those who are leaving Al Fasher are leaving on their own foot, walking. Some of them are walking for 2 days, some of them for 10 hours. And most of them are women and children that are arriving until now.
The United Nations says more than 26,000 have fled El Fasher in just 2 days, most on foot towards Tawila, 70 kilometers west. Uyi Agbomofuegbe, reporting for Global TV News.
And now to the world of sport, where Crystal Palace turned Liverpool 3-0 at Anfield as Ismail Sarr struck twice and Yuri Pino added a late third, deepening Liverpool's crisis. Arsenal beats Brighton and Hove Albion 2-0 thanks to goals from Ethan Nwaneri and Bukayo Saka to advance to the next round of the Carabao Cup. Manchester City came from behind to edge past Swansea 3-1 with Jeremy Doku, Umar Mamouche and Ryan Cherki on target. Chelsea survived the thriller away at Wolverhampton Wanderers, claiming a 4-3 victory despite being reduced to 10 men in the second half. Newcastle maintained their Carabao Cup defense with a controlled 2-0 win over Tottenham Hotspur. Still talking sport, as the countdown to the 27th Nigeria University Games NUGA 2025 intensifies, presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 election, Peter Obi, has pledged his support for the Games to be hosted by the University of Jos. He made the pledge when the local organizing committee of the NUGA 2025 paid him a courtesy visit in Abuja. Our correspondent, Ramsey Enoch Agbo, reports.
The visit is part of an effort to promote the game of sport among Nigerians of all categories, which will build up a hub for sports development at all levels. The 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, pledged his commitment and support for the National University Games, that is NUGA 2025, which is scheduled to hold from the 6th to the 16th of November in Jos, Plateau State.
Sports remains a critical component of our development. Sports today, as everybody knows, in all parts of the world, have become an engine of growth because jobs, employment, careers of people, it goes a long way in unifying any place, especially in Nigeria.
The chairman of the organizing committee, Goshen Bella, during the visit gave a breakdown of the activities and infrastructural setup for the smooth running of the games.
As being a lover of sports, you have passion for youth in the country. We're here also to honor you as an ambassador of the games. In a nutshell, the game has a lot of benefits for the youths of Nigeria. And most importantly, there are other legacy projects that would outlive the games. Notably among them is that infrastructure, which is being built and is ongoing. It's going to host any international tournament.
Ramsey Enoch reporting for Global TV News.
On the midday news, a quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using at Global TV NG. I am Mukhtar Kasim. Saying a very big thank you for watching.